So next we have presentations and proclamations. And our first will be a presentation of the key to the city and proclamation to honor Councilmember Cydney Moore. So I'm going to ask Councilmember Sarah Moore to lead this, please.
Thank you. Whereas Councilmember Cydney Moore was elected to the Burien City Council in November 2019, and whereas Moore has worked as a nonprofit leader for over a decade and currently serves as president of the Burien Community Support Coalition and as board member of the Multi-Service Center, Tukwila Food Pantry, Tukwila Pantry Food Bank, Burien Arts Association, and the Burien Library Guild, and whereas notable achievements related to her nonprofit work include curation of an art wall at the Burien Community Center through a program she started featuring artwork from Highline community students, helping provide food to families in need, and providing support to unhoused individuals. And whereas Councilmember Cydney Moore served on multiple regional committees, including the South County Area Transportation Board and the Domestic Violence Initiative Regional Task Force. And whereas while serving on the Domestic Violence Initiative Task Force, Councilmember Moore proposed and led a lobbying effort that resulted in King County Council allocated an extra $375,000 for domestic violence prevention. And whereas Councilmember Moore championed an increase to the human services and public art budgets, and whereas Councilmember Moore helped pass strengthened renter protection and advocated for affordable housing, including approval of inclusion of the new DESC building in the Affordable Housing Demonstration Program, and helping negotiate a proposal that advanced the establishment of emergency housing for the homeless in Burien. And whereas during the COVID-19 pandemic, Councilmember Moore advocated for an eviction moratorium and hazard pay for essential workers, as well as funding the city's new co-response teams. And whereas Councilmember Moore has fought for transparency and accountability in local government and fostered strong relationships with the press to ensure the public stays informed on important issues. And whereas Councilmember Moore went out of her way to thank city staff for their continued hard work on behalf of the people of Burien. Now therefore, the City Council of the City of Burien, Washington, does hereby ask all Burien community members to join together in honoring Councilmember Cydney Moore and thank her for her dedicated service to the Burien community. Dated the 18th day of December, 2023.
You want to ask Stephanie?
Stephanie, would you please do the honors of presenting the key to the city and proclamation for Mayor Sofia Aragon?
Whereas Mayor Sofia Aragon was elected to the Burien City Council in November 2019, was elected by her fellow council members to serve as mayor in 2022, and whereas Burien is one of the most racially diverse cities in the state of Washington, with Asian American and Pacific Islander community being the second largest community of color, and whereas Mayor Aragon, as a Filipina immigrant, is the first Asian American woman to serve as mayor of Burien, and whereas Mayor Aragon was instrumental in the passage of proclamation denouncing anti-Asian hate during COVID-19 pandemic, reaffirming Burien's commitment to creating an inclusive and welcoming community, the first such proclamation by a city in Washington, which was soon followed by many other cities. And whereas Mayor Aragon served on several regional, state, and federal committees, including the Highline Forum, Sound Cities Association Public Issues Committee, Sound Cities Association, South Sound Mayors Association of Washington Cities Legislative Priority Committee, Washington State Public Health Advisory Board, and the Asian Pacific American Municipal Officials Caucus in the National League of Cities. And whereas Mayor Aragon advocated for increased investment in public safety for the city of Burien and worked with partner cities to place public safety workforce development at the top of the AWC legislative priorities. And whereas Mayor Aragon chaired the Burien Airport Committee in 2021, raising awareness of health impacts of airport operations on communities under the flight path and building calibration with the Port of Seattle to promote available mitigation strategies for businesses, places of worship, and residents. And whereas Mayor Aragon supported a variety of affordable housing options and improved outreach to the unhoused for stable housing, substance use disorder treatment and prevention, mental health services, and transitional housing. And whereas Mayor Aragon was committed to addressing diverseness in government by developing and advocating for the adoption of the rules of civility for the city of Burien. And now therefore, the City Council of the City of Burien, Washington, does hereby ask all Burien community members to join together in honoring Mayor Sofia Aragon and thank her for her dedication of service to City of Burien community, dated this 18th of December, 2023.